Hi, welcome to PAYDAY Pawn Vlogs. And today's video is very important. Why? Because I'm going to explain something that's going to apply to many people that have tried other businesses and now they're thinking about one and only pawn business. So watch this video end to end. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I will really appreciate it. Keep being the part of this. Be the active part of it. Today I'm going to explain in this video why pawn business is so different from other businesses. And that was a couple people, they questioned about that too. So I thought about making this video today where I can explain, even though pawn shop business is a business just like any other business, but it's very different in nature from other businesses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain that to you. So if you're thinking about pawn business and you want to get into this, at least you will have right tools to walk into right directions. So let's go get it. As a rule of thumb, any business in the United States has licensing, regulations, rules, everything else. Pawn shop business is very different from other businesses in sense of rules and regulations, because when you're talking about pawn shop, you are really talking about city ordinances and regulations, county regulations, state regulations, federal and other entities regulations. So many times, it just becomes so fumbled in sense of understanding that people will overlook many laws and regulations and all that. And law is something that you can cross the lines with it without knowing. But in our pawn business, it's our job to know the laws. And I don't know is not the answer. So this pawn business is way different from other businesses in sense of rules and regulations. There's no match with other businesses, because other businesses, normally you take a license. For example, you open up a fried chicken place. You get the license and you deal with the Department of Agriculture, maybe EPA or something like that. But that's that. But in pawn business, that's just totally different can of worms. So any of you thinking about getting in the pawn business, just make sure you study your state laws completely, in depth. Even if you need an attorney, you can get that, so you can get the complete understanding about pawn business. Because once you get started, there is no excuse for not doing good. And mostly when you follow the regulations in the business, you have the tendency to do better than your competitors. That's for sure. If you are there in this business for a long time, then you have to know these regulations. So that's why this business is way so different from other businesses. Number two, a very sensitive and very important difference between other businesses and pawn business. In this pawn business, you are dealing with actual assets, actual tangibles, actual items that are important to people, and then people's valuables. I don't think there's any other business that directly deals with those values and valuables and tangibles that people own, and you do loans of that one. So that makes it very uniquely different for pawn shop comparing to other businesses. Because when you are dealing with people's assets, valuables, cars, rings, jewelry, tools, laptops, computers, all those things are important to people, super important to people. And as a pawnbroker, that's your ultimate responsibility, to be sensitive, to be responsible, and to be really paying attention to this area, because these things that come to your store, those are real. People are real, and the values are real. It depends how much you understand, and your understanding is your job. We just can't really treat anything like anything, because these valuables, they are important to people, which other businesses don't deal with that. So that makes it a little bit difficult in pawn business, And how do you manage that area? If you have a computer program and pawn program that really takes care of the dates, times, expiration dates, extensions, all those things, reclaims, then you have no worries about that, because computer keeps up with all your transactions and dates and expirations, and then you just don't have to answer that question, because when you do a pawn loan, you give the document to people, people sign it, people fingerprint it, you give it to them, you explain the dates, and some of you out there do the good job, but I've seen many pawn shops, they don't even have people sign it, and that's a complication. Okay, that's not a good thing. So people must sign it. They receive the money from you, they give you the item, and then immediately you tag it, you put it in a area that it belongs to, where you can just go back and find it. So this business, in that sense, is very different, okay? And you also dealing with people's emotions, okay? If people lose their items, or something just kind of like expires and they oversee and forget, you have to deal with all that and be sensitive to that too. Other businesses don't have to do that. Once you buy something from them, you took the receipt, you paid them, and you don't see them till next time, In pawn business, that relationship is much deeper. And if you're thinking about pawn business, and if you want to start, you already have a pawn business, it's time to really, buckle up and do a good job on this area, because that's where I see a lot of problems with a lot of pawnbrokers and pawn shop people. Confusions, not doing the right things, or maybe not having the computer program, not having the right documentation, that causes a lot of problems. So if you're thinking about pawn business and you already have a pawn business, do a fantastic job on documentation and taking care of your customer. Three things in pawn business that makes pawn business so different from other businesses is, this business, pawn shop business, operates on people's trust. And this trust area is a very tall order, okay? It does not happen overnight. It does not happen immediately. It does not happen just because you want people to trust you and all that. You actually have to really work on that actively and build that trust with the people, where you as a pawnbroker become trustworthy. That's just ultimately very important, because people's trust is the name of the game in this business. Without that, there's nothing you can do in this business when people don't trust you. So that's just, it's way different from other businesses. Even though, you go to the gas station and you just pump the gas and stuff like that, you trust those people. But over here, we're talking about a different tier of trust, a different level of trust, because you're dealing with people's merchandise, people's jewelry, personal, cars, all those things. And that ultimate trust has to be in 100% shape with the customer. Other than that, that's going to be a difficult time for you as a pawnbroker. And I've seen a lot of pawn shops, they fizzle out because of that. They either not being able to build that trust, or maybe they're not able to keep that trust. All that together is not good, But if you believe in fair business, fair lending, fair operation, and customer care, you shouldn't have any problem with that area. And this is the area that really makes pawn business the most different from other businesses. Number four is the pawn shop business is heavily regulated. What I mean by that, there's laws after laws and after laws on top of the laws, and this exists for the people that like to do the right things. They like to build the business around that understanding of the legal process and those regulations. Those regulations are made to make you a fair pawn shop business where you can really thrive in your business and really make money legally. That's just so important to understand that, because the regulations are always shaping up. They're always shaping up. So it remains our pawnbrokers' jobs to keep up with that, to study that, and to really be looking for changes in laws, federal laws, county laws, state laws, city laws. That's our job, to really be looking for that. And it wouldn't hurt to have some friends in the county where they can just time to time, fill you in, and if you go by, they can give you, hey, look, there's some changes in this law and that law. I do that a lot, and that really helps, and that keeps you ahead of the game. Because I've seen many pawnbrokers, they don't even know half of the laws. Honestly, unfortunate that people don't know, and when they get tangled up in some complication, then it's all kinds of people problem and legal problems and all that. Is that what you want to do the business for? No, that's not the reason you want to have the pawn shop business. You want to be a great service to people where people can fulfill their needs, financial needs, and then you as a business thrive, develop, and do good and flourish. That's the goal, where everybody does good. But again, first thing first, this is a business that's heavily regulated, okay? Other businesses might not be, but this business is way different in that sense. Look into that as a pawnbroker. The other businesses, when you go to get the license, many of the businesses, for example, you want to start a lawn care service, you go over there, in our county it's like $100 to get the license, and you get the license, get the tax ID, and you are good to go. But in pawn shop business, that's not true. Licensing process is difficult. It's got so many tiers. Why? Because your background check, who you are, your financial checks, your banking, where your money comes from, where your money goes, all these things that makes it difficult to get the licensing. And if somebody's got any domestic violence or any kind of criminal background, then forget about it. You're not going to get the license. It's just that clear, So what makes this business difficult is, and different is from other businesses, is the licensing process. It's just so much to really look into that before you can get the license. And once you get the license, it's nothing but a daily maintenance, do the right things, apply the right things, and make sure your customers are happy and you're making money, and just be good to people. That's all it is. And people are just people. People are just people. They understand between the good and bad, there's a difference. So whatever the give and take is, your customer should benefit from your pawn shop. That's the key goal. So these are a couple things, that were on my mind, and I thought, made a video and let you know. And some of you, if they're thinking to open up a pawn shop, these things will be great to know before you can just dive into the ocean, okay? And once you know the rules, name of the games, you can play the game by the rules, and it'll be more beneficial and more peace of mind for you. You just don't want to create something that becomes like a living hell for you. I've seen that too. Many people go through that, and many people get put in jail because they cannot follow the laws, and they cannot really get the complete picture of this pawn business. They think it's a quick rich, get rich program. That's not true. That is never true. It's a residual business. You make money over the time period. You invest so much money in this business. And then your money starts making a little bit of money, and then it starts catching the traction. That's the only way you do it. Anything fast will not work for you. And if you're not a patient person, this business is not for you. You gotta have a certain level of patience, because you invest so much money, then the money goes to work, and then your actual interest money and whatever sales money comes back to you. So basically, this business is very different from other businesses in sense of licensing process. Licensing is quite difficult. And in some states, some counties, they're even tightening up more and more and more. Why they're doing it, I don't know. I think it's some people that makes it harder. And not to mention, it's the variety of the different things that we do in pawnshop business. And even though it's under the umbrella of pawnshop business, but precious metals, that can be a different license. Gun license is different, your business license is different, So all these things, they can be very different for you, okay? So it's not just easy to really kind of like, make a mumbo jumbo and let it run as long as it runs by itself. It's not like that. So some of you out there thinking about this business, it's a great business, I must say that. Only if you understand that and you start with that understanding where you take care of all these 4 or 5 things that I talk about. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's much more than that. Hopefully in this video, there were some things that were helpful for you to be in a pawn business or to be thinking to open up a pawn shop. Hopefully there were a couple things, These things, I put them like in a very simple way. They can be very complex, But once you know the guidelines and good references, when you know the references, then you can just follow through and, talk to your county, talk to your city government and all that. Then you can make it happen. You're not new to this, you just need to understand the game. Please keep watching Payday Pawn Vlogs. Keep being the part of it. Keep being the active part of it. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you in next video. Till next time, you take care of that, my dear. Goodbye.